Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to another episode of Hey, I've Got an Idea Show. This is me, Luke, Lessashamed Williams.
And I'm Mason Tailsteak Williams.
Yep, that's the guy. That's
That's
us.
me.
That's him, and that's me, and we are brothers, and we are inventors.
There's only two of us on this podcast.
Despite what you may have heard. I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe if
I don't know either. Like, there's only two brothers. We do have a sister, but she doesn't do this. So
No, she certainly doesn't. We may have just crafted some lore of that third brother that is like hiding in the audio somewhere. You'll find it if you look hard enough. So on this podcast, we talk our way through an invention. We're gonna make something new for you right now, right off the domes.
We're gonna make a thing.
My brother's domes and my dome, his dome is more dome-like than mine.
We're gonna put our domes together.
What with the lack of hair.
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna rub our domes together, and we will just have the greatest idea.
And alike a flint and steel making a spark.
Which one am I? Am I the flint or am I the steel?
I think we take turns.
Okay.
So long as one plays, one plays one plays the other.
Mm-hmm.
Alike that, our spark shall set fire to a terrible idea. This fire is gonna burn the house down. Why are we doing this indoors?
Well, I mean, outdoor podcasts are generally not a good idea because, like, a bird's gonna come up and take the microphone, then that's very poor quality audio for the listeners at home.
Yeah, he just steals the show, sings us a lovely ballad, and it's appreciated, but not for it. It doesn't quite synergize with what we got.
Not
going.
really what you want. No.
Yeah.
I mean, we got folks that are listening to this. They're like maybe they're running on a treadmill,
sure,
or they're commuting, and they want to listen to two guys talk about the invention that they're having. They don't want to listen to bird noise. If they wanted to listen to bird noise, they would just open a window, and no one wants that. So.
Except for this bird noise right here. That one was funny though, right? We're glad that existed.
Did you do a bird noise?
I did a bird noise. Just didn't you hear it?
I didn't hear. No. Is this something you're going to edit in post? Is that the joke?
What happened to the bird? It seems like somebody attacked the bird with a weapon.
What? That's a weird segue. Oh my gosh. Oh, poor birdie.
Poor birdie. But hey, that weapon seemed like garbage. Let's make a better one.
Yeah. Like, get out of here, Randy Johnson, with your fastball that you threw at a bird and it exploded and it was actually really cool. We don't want that. We want personal self-defense. We want something that will just help you stave off the legions of back alley muggers.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to feel safe again, dear listener. That's what we want. So that's what we're inventing this week is a means of doing that thing that I just said.
Okay, so I want to just clarify here. We are not specifically talking about a projectile weapon.
No.
I think there was a particular turn of phrase that you used that inspired that to me, that it was like going to be gun-like or something. But this is just any kind of weapon. Anything.
Well, anything that will aid in self-defense. So, I mean, in theory, if I have, say, a device that stops a mugger in their tracks by, age regressing them to a tiny baby, is that really considered a weapon?
I think so.
Okay, what about something
you're kind of doing them a favor depending on how you use it.
Yeah, I mean, they get like a bunch more years on their lifespan. It's fucking rad.
Remember that time when it was like I know it from the animated Spider-Man from the 90s, but there was that villain that got turned into a baby, but then he was like a mob baby. Or maybe he wasn't.
I don't think he was a Ma Baby. I think you're thinking of the Vulture.
Maybe I'm thinking of the new movie Boss Baby.
Well, Michael Keaton is playing the Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
Which I'm doing a bunch of free advertising for here. And
Pay up.
in Boss Baby, it's CGI.
Yeah.
And it's being done by Baldwin, one of the Baldwins, I think.
I think it was a Baldwin. I think there's kind of just the one Baldwin at this point.
Well, do they have a sister? Or is it like our sister where she just doesn't do this
like,
kind of thing?
Don't even go there.
Is there a Baldwin sister?
Hashtag Baldwin sister.
Is that like a great mystery? Like, is she
No,
an
it
addict?
probably is not. We were going to invent a weapon.
We were. That doesn't appear to be what we're doing, but we're going to do it now.
Okay, so, I feel like concealable and handheld are the top 2 priorities.
Yes. Like, no one's going to feel safe if they see you going down the street and you've got, like...
A giant Grim Reaper sickle?
A giant Grim Reaper sickle that's somehow motorized. Like, that's a bad look.
Yeah.
You're carrying half a motorcycle slung over your shoulder. It's not good.
Wait, hold on a second. I want to examine this motorcycle sickle hybrid for a second, though. How would you wield and use that?
Well, I mean, it's very large.
Uh-huh.
And it's got the one wheel, because like half a motorcycle has 2 wheels, so therefore, by definition, this thing would have 1 wheel. Or possibly 2 halves of wheels. Yes, I'm going to go with 2 halves, as a matter of fact.
I'm pretty sure I'm bored of this already.
But what, you want like 4 quarters of wheels? That's impractical.
I love that I just, like, gave you a spark of potential innovation, then cut it short. And all right, back to the thing that we were talking about. Okay, so concealable?
Concealable, yes. Environmentally friendly.
Was that, like, top 3? Like, you want it to be biodegradable in case it gets lost?
Well, no, not biodegradable. I just don't want it to be shooting, like, chlorofluorocarbons and harm our ozone layer. Or shit like that.
I guess every little bit counts, right?
Well, I mean, like your typical gun, right? Lead? Is it lead bullets? That's bad for everyone. You're introducing heavy metals into the ecosystem. You want, like... the ammunition certainly should be biodegradable. If it employs some sort of projectile ammunition, something you leave behind, which by all means certainly doesn't need to do.
Okay.
You know what I would like? I would like it to be non-lethal, because I'm a peacenik at heart. I don't want people like acting like we're at the OK Corral and just like, I mean, in theory you want it for defense, right? But then if you can just turn around and have the mugger take that from you and he holds you up with your own weapon, then it's not a defensive weapon anymore, is it? So I think ideally we want something that will immobilize, something that will discourage, perhaps, but something non-fatal, something that's not going to actually hurt or kill people, but rather just like make sure that they don't pursue their current course of action. Just like, hey, that thing you're doing, maybe give it a rest, buddy.
Okay, so I've got something I want to counter with for a concept off the top that is, we're not going to go with this. This is admittedly just like straight up stealing something. So,
you have my attention.
Overwatch.
Yes.
It's a great game. I really enjoy it.
Okay.
I really like to play it. What do you think about that? No, I'm joking. I got
wow, hot take.
I'm gonna give you something more specific than that.
I'm gonna say, I'm just for the sake of being contrarian, I'm going to go on record here and say no. Overwatch is a bad game. Come at me, fucking.
Yeah, you could tweet him at tailsteak.
Yes.
Anytime you want. He wants you to know specifically Overwatch isn't great. That's not my opinion.
I just feel the character designs are not interesting enough.
Oh, Mason, what are you doing?
Gameplay is boring and stilted.
Mason, stop.
It's a poorly designed game.
Mason, please no. Okay, so May has a pretty cool gun.
Yeah, but the ice.
It's got two functions. It's got the main ice blast that will freeze the enemy on spot if targeted for long enough, but it's just sort of like a constant blast of like their health is just sort of trickling down as you're hitting them with it.
Right.
So it's like constant. If it's firing and pointed at you, it is like going down, right?
Now here's a question. Like Junkrat, isn't he like on fire all the time? And if so, does that ice affect him less, or does it just put him out?
It doesn't really have a specific effect. His on fire nature is cosmetic. It is able to change with his different skins.
Okay.
So
can he be more on fire?
No. Torbjorn is the one who like literally goes on fire when he uses ultimate.
He's just like forging shit
right
as he goes, right? So you would think heat is not an issue for him. He's all hot.
Right, but anyway, so there's that, the freeze blast, and then once you fully freeze the person, they are immobilized for a couple of seconds. You can headshot them. You can headshot them with your secondary fire, which is an icicle shot, right?
Okay, so you just put a spike of ice directly into the old brain pan.
And the icicle shot has a, like, do you know what I mean when I say hit scan? How certain characters have hit scan targeting. Specifically McCree and a few others, where if you click and the mouse crosshair is over their head, they are dead. Much like sort of how Duck Hunt worked, where it's just like takes the frame of the confirmed yes white block and then it's a kill. However,
much like a real gun typically would do. Yeah.
Well, pretty much. It's like, minuscule fragments of a second, but her icicle shot is actually like, I want to say 500 milliseconds after you click, because it has to form the icicle before it can propel it.
Okay.
So that's also an interesting little variant for her shot.
All right.
I think this is obviously a little too fatal.
I will grant you environmentally friendly.
There you go. And it also ticked off one of your other checkboxes, which is it just sort of apprehends them but doesn't kill them. If you freeze them solid.
Thing one, but then not thing two, I think you'd be good. Were it not for the fact that here in the real world, encasing someone in a block of ice usually does kill them.
Yes. There is
usually
some kind of fast freeze stuff that like there's a reason why it makes its way into our sci-fi, right? Like, did you ever see that video of like a flash frozen fish that can then thaw in the water 2 minutes later and swim around?
I admit I have not.
Okay, so I think part of the reason why that is possible, and I don't think it's a parlor trick or anything, it might be an illusion, but I don't think it is. I think part of the reason why that's possible is, flat fish, it's like an inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
You can flash freeze it super fast. Whereas the human, much, much thicker, even our best flash freezing isn't going to do it fast enough. Maybe that's
So you're looking for a weapon that would first flatten the human.
Yes.
Then freeze them.
Oh, so Reinhardt. He just uses hammer.
Okay. Yeah. And then when it comes time for them to be delivered to the local constabulary, you have something that runs in reverse that will instantly unfreeze them and also pop them back into a three-dimensional shape, much like a cartoon when you blow them up with the fire bomb.
So I feel like this is going to go in the direction of sci-fi pretty well right away, because I love the idea of being able to just like IKEA flat pack a person, deliver them, and then have them reassembled. Because that's a pretty cool idea, too.
That I admit would be pretty hot.
Except that would absolutely cause death with our current technology.
This is true. The average human being would not be capable of surviving
Nope.
life as an IKEA flat pack.
Now, some would do better than others.
Granted.
That kid that is like 40 pounds or whatever and can roller skate under like 30 cars in one go because he's like so thin.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Is this an Overwatch character?
No. This is just like another video that's out there on the internet.
You watch a lot of videos on the internet,
guess
man.
I do.
Just get out there and live your life, dude. Don't be...
Yeah.
Life is passing you by.
And
you gotta get out there and get mugged.
Good tip. The larger among us, they're gonna squish a lot more before they get flattened. So I'm just saying,
true. That's how volume works.
Someone who's already pretty flat in general is gonna be squished and dead, sure, but less dead than the person who was squished after like just a little bit of squishing because they got a lot of squishing.
We just need to pass a law then that said that only people 100 pounds or less are allowed to mug people. That way, when people who are being mugged act in self-defense, it's non-fatal, and the problem would be solved.
Okay, let's shift to melee.
Okay.
Because
now that's May's sister. May and Lay, the ice climbers.
It's actually just her wearing a flowered necklace. So.
Nice. Oh,
yes.
This is a good joke. We are quality comedy.
Comedy podcast.
Yes, this also music podcast. Just now. That's yeah.
Let's add a little Tom Phil. Oh no, I don't do it with my voice. Here it is.
Fill it in post.
All right, that was pretty good.
We will assume that I'm just gonna assume you filled that in.
I am gonna hate myself so much in the future.
What we need here. I think it would be germane to the conversation if you could just throw in a little bit of Crazy Frog here. Like,
I'm actually not going to do that.
If you could just I'm gonna be silent for a bit, and I'm gonna need you to fill in some Crazy Frog because
this is not a joke. Before this podcast started recording, I told him that we can add sound effects and that could be fun on occasion, but I won't do Crazy Frog.
We need some Crazy Frog here.
All right,
okay. Well, you know what that makes. This frog that you're refusing to put in here, you know what that makes him for me? What do you call a frog that's not yours?
I don't know. What do you call a frog that isn't yours?
Nacho frog.
So here's what I'm gonna do instead. Here is Crazy Frog.
Nacho frog.
Yes, yeah, no, we all caught that one too. Let's decide the fucking weapon, hey? Okay, so me.
Melee. That's it. Nacho frog. I just did.
Okay, no, we already used nachos as a weapon in another episode. This is Jesus Christ. So melee weapon. Let's do something with a handle.
You know how you have those rafts where you pull the thing and then it suddenly inflates?
Yeah.
That, but covered in epoxy.
So that you would stick the enemy to it?
Just toss it and it just goes ka-thump, and then all of a sudden they are stuck to a mattress-sized thing that is also stuck to everything else in the environment.
Here's what I think would happen. Because the kwafump of the raft is going to be sort of almost eventual, whereas something more, you're almost talking more like an airbag kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm talking like an airbag type explosion.
All right. So here's a scenario for you.
Okay.
Barbara's in the alley ATM. She wants to take out some cash. And here comes Mr. Mugger. Not to be confused with Mr. Muggs.
Now, why does it have to be Mr. Mugger? Way to stereotype.
Okay.
You know, it's the 21st century. Women can be muggers too.
Mugger X approaches.
A person of indeterminate gender identity is just balaclavas fit all kinds of heads.
Mugger X is going to mug Barbara. Barbara,
very bad person,
coyly thinks to herself, "Oh, I'm okay because I've got my epoxy bomb. Here we go." And Mugger X is like, excuse me, ma'am, do you have the time?" He was actually gonna mug her though, but
yeah, right. Well,
he's
you
like,
know what time it is? It's epoxy raft time, motherfucker.
And that's what she says. Okay, she throws the epoxy raft down. It explodes very quickly.
Yeah.
Into his face.
Good.
Separates his head from his neck a little bit, and then
that's bad.
And then sticks it there. Just sort of tilts his head, just kind of cracks his neck, and then leaves it there.
So sort of a bad chiropractic job there.
Yeah. And now Barbara is like, "I got you," and he's just dead. And then Barbara's like, "Oh no." And scene.
Well, I mean, like, as with most things, like, don't aim directly for the vertebrae. Like, what's the matter with you?
So what do you aim for, the feet?
Like, the feet and the hands.
You
want to get them from the neck down.
I'm actually kind of wondering if this is an all-right idea or not. I think that it's not, because I don't think we have adhesives and, like, fast inflation that would work in tandem that well.
Not yet.
Yeah, fair. I mean,
you gotta get R&D on this. Send this to the R&D boys.
Even like super glue. Like, yeah, why isn't that an approach? Like my mind is escaping me on this one. The balaclava was the balls with the rope that you throw at the feet.
No, that's like bolo balls.
Those are bolo balls. What's the balaclava?
Balaclava is the ski mask.
It's a delicious dessert.
No, that's baklava.
So, yeah, sorry. The
bolo, I will note, is also a tie.
Right. But in this
case, I
don't
know if you can take off your tie and throw it at someone. Well, okay, I do know that you can take off your tie and throw it at someone. I just don't know if that would be effective at all.
Mm-hmm. So the bolo balls that you throw at someone's foot. Is there a reason why we don't do that? And we shoot people with guns instead?
I think you got to be really, really good at boloing to be able to do that. Also, it requires that you see their feet, and if all someone has to do is wear a long skirt, and you're fucked.
No, that's not true.
If you get mugged by someone in like an evening gown, you have no recourse.
No, yes, you do. You will just bind their dress too.
I don't know. It depends on what the dress is made of.
I want to know why the act of restraining, like why we didn't work with technology like that and have that be the default.
Well, as I understand it, like the ideal chemical for doing that is very easy for a high school student to make and put into wrist-mounted cartridges, provided that high school teenager has instinctual knowledge of enzymes imparted to him via spider genetics.
We're talking about Spider-Man.
No, this is just a general thing that happens in the real world.
I am not following this.
Okay. Let me go a little slower. Okay, you take your teenagers.
Okay, got a teenager.
Your typical high school teenagers. Again, of any gender. Like, I don't know where you're getting this Spider-Man from, okay? It's the 21st century. Anyone of any gender identity can be bitten by a genetically augmented, possibly radioactive arachnid. Anyway, we take these high school kids, we subject them to a little bit of mutation of the spidering variety.
Just a bit.
And just a touch. We don't want anybody growing any compound eyes here. We just want a little hint of some spider in there. Okay. And then they instinctually, that's the key. It's not something that they learn from a book. It's an instinctual thing they immediately develop. Just like a beaver knows how to build a dam, they know how to mix commonly available chemicals to turn into instantly sticky webby fluid that you can use to web up vultures such. Who we referenced earlier, but in this case it would be literal vultures because you also need self-defense against those if they try to.
All right.
Bones.
Okay.
I'm being helpful.
This is not a weapon. This is mutant things. Mutant skeptic. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a device. Presumably, you could take the device and apply it then to a non-mutant. Like if I had it, I could use it, and I don't currently have any spider genetics.
Yes, but we want a weapon. the concept is weapon. We're not talking about
are you telling me that you've got web slinging device on your wrist? You get mugged, and you're like, oh darn, I have to give over my wallet because I don't have anything to use to defend myself. Is that what you're telling me? You'd be like, oh shit, all I have are these things mounted, concealed on my wrists that I can use to instantaneously restrain someone, but I got no choice. I gotta give this dude my bank card and tell him my PIN so that he can identity theft the fuck out of me because I don't have a weapon. All I've got are these useless spider webby things. Fuck my life. That's what you're telling me.
I want something with that I can huck. I want a huckable.
You can huck them. You can huck anything. I mean, anything within weight range, like not a Volkswagen, but
no, something that I can legitimately huck. Like
you want to huck.
I want to huck.
You want to huck Finn.
Give me something to huck.
You want to Huckleberry Finn.
No.
You want.
That's a boy.
Okay. So here's my concept. You ready?
Okay, I am listening.
Okay. So it looks like an ordinary pen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you just carried it in your pocket, in the pocket protector, like the nerdlinger that you are.
All right.
Urkel, and it's like, did I do that? And you got the pen in your pocket.
Yeah.
But secretly, you're in danger. Take it out. Pop that pen lid off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now it's armed.
Yeah.
And you throw it, and after maybe 1 to 3 seconds, I'm gonna go with sleepy gas. Can we do sleepy gas?
Yes, we can. That's okay. I like the direction that is going in. I love sleepy gas because it disarms. It knocks them out.
Yep.
Here's a question: is sleepy gas a thing? Is that real though?
Technically, there are gases that if you inhale them, you will lose consciousness. Yes.
I'm talking about
You would need it needs to be fairly concentrated. Like it needs to be either completely filling the area or completely filling your immediate nose and mouth region.
Because that's the thing.
Also, you would in most cases die.
I know that anesthesiology exists and that gases are used for that.
Yes.
But, like you say, very concentrated directly to the mouth and nose.
And also, you've got an anesthesiologist who's trained and who is watching over you and who's like, okay, here is the correct dosage to knock you out. I need to turn the knob down because now that you are knocked out, if I continue with the gas, you will surely perish. That's why
Is that-
anesthesiologist is like a thing. It's not just like, oh, I need this person to go to sleep now. Psh, done.
We do we not have like robots to do that now?
No, fucking
monitor
like that's a
concentration?
whole profession. You could go to school for 8 fucking years and you get out and they're like, okay, so you got a PhD. You're not an anesthesiologist. Yes, you go back to school for like another 8 years. You finally graduate from that and you're like, I'm specialized as an anesthesiologist. And they're like, okay, you now know how to use the one thing that's effective on 80% of the population. Hope that's the only kind of people you have to deal with. Good luck out there, Sparky.
And then a robot doesn't
No,
take that job?
No, robots don't take doctor jobs. Robots only take like taxi driver jobs in California, specifically.
So, weapons. Sleepy
Yes, that is exactly what we're talking about. What we need is to develop a robot who will monitor the administration of the sleepy gas and make sure it is in the correct dosages, and it's in the pen. Tiny robot. You throw the pen, it's got to land right up that person's nose, and it just delivers the gas.
Did you just
hands-free,
say
effortless?
you have to throw a pen into the assailant's nose?
Well, I mean, that's not a tough shot. You got to bank it like off the floor so that it's going up.
I'm going to go ahead and say that is a tough shot to make. We need something
for
that can...
you, maybe.
Okay, at the very least, you need to be able to have it be that, like, if you hit their face with it, they're done.
Okay, you gotta hit them in the face. And you gotta hope they're not wearing some sort of mask, like muggers might do.
Yeah, like all the time.
Right.
What if it was a goop?
I like goops.
A sleepy goop.
Is that like granola and raisins and
No.
peanuts?
No.
Good old raisins and peanuts. What's in that? Is
That's
that grand
grope.
old raisins and like pasta and like granola?
I don't know.
Mike and Ike's?
The goop that I'm talking about is a consistency, kind of like a pudding.
Which ones are Mike's and which ones are Ike's?
You can tell if you look closely. The Mikes have a little indent. The Ikes have a double indent.
So, like, wait, is Ike a girl? Ike's not a girl's name, is it?
No.
All right. So we throw a goop. Like, can we get like a gack kind of feel or phloem maybe?
I just said pudding. I want pudding.
Okay, so we're sliming it.
I want sleepy pudding.
We want sleepy pudding.
Okay, no, it's coming together. What if you just pocket Gialide some pudding and some sleepy pudding?
Okay, so like we need it come in little Go-Gurt tubes, and it's like Go-sthesia, the grab and go anesthesia, and It's just like I got this radical tube, buddy. Check this out, and then splorp right in their mugging faces.
You don't want to mess with me.
Oh, hey, key lime. Oh, this is
key lime.
Well, I don't know.
Our flagship flavor is not going to be key lime.
Well, I mean, any kind of lime. It doesn't have to be a key lime. It could be like
dude,
other limes.
I don't think you realize how important that is to this concept.
The keys. Well, it's key.
Okay, here's
important because it's a key concept.
Yes, I do get that joke. I think the only reason why you would pick lime as the flavor to hit your opponent with is the same reason you would use like cappuccino squash flavor. Like you want to assault them.
Well, you don't want to use cappuccino because the caffeine will just wake them back up again.
Sleepy chino.
No, you can't have. It's got the caffeine. Okay,
turkey.
In terms of
flavored pudding.
In terms of flavors, I got an idea here. This is killer. You ready?
It shouldn't kill them though.
what do you call ghosthesia that isn't yours?
These jokes are getting really abstract.
Answer the question, damn you. What do you call ghosthesia that isn't yours?
Is it nacho ghosthesia?
It's nacho ghosthesia, yeah! Oh, bringing it back around. I'm a comedy titan.
I hate this show. Okay.
It's a bold, cheesy nacho flavor of pudding right up in your face. Bam! And then you go sleepy times.
We can't incorporate nachos into like the majority of our inventions. We need to keep it focused on things non-nacho.
The nacho bungee toilet was pretty good.
No, that wasn't part of it. I just listened to it.
Well, I mean, like, you could add it in post.
I will not.
a little crazy frog, a little
there
nacho.
There is no crazy frog. There is no nachos that are superfluous to the already existing nachos. Crazy frog hates nachos. Hashtag crazy frog hates nachos.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you could use that hashtag crazy frog hates nachos.
I think
let
that's
us
the
know
one that
what
will
you
make
think
us,
of the show.
That will make us famous. That one.
We would greatly appreciate it. Also, just hit us up on Twitter in general.
Can we please get back to flinging pudding at potential muggers?
We need to get back to the practical matter of flinging pudding at our assailants. Yes.
Okay. You were saying Go-Gurty tube?
Yeah.
How do you fling with that?
You can fling a tube. I've flung tubes before.
Detail the motion to me.
I was flinging tubes before you were born.
How about you detail the motion to me?
Okay. So you reach into your pocket or your purse or your messenger bag or your tube that they carry, architectural drawings in, one of those things. You pull out your ghosthesia tube, right? And it's sort of a floppy little plastic tube. It's got some nacho flavored pudding in there.
It's not nacho flavored. I prefer the
is.
lime.
You prefer the key lime? Well, we can meet you halfway. It's lime nachos. Anyway, you got this floppy tube in your hand, and you just sort of shake it. Just shake it a little bit, like a Polaroid picture. Just back and forth. That's the motion. It agitates.
So like a glow stick?
Well, I mean, more like the shake weight?
Okay, is it like a can of spray paint?
Yeah.
You just
so you're like, shake it like that.
Yeah.
And the mugger's like, that's an odd wallet, but I would appreciate it. By all means, hand it over. And then you're like, oh, you want this? Here you go. And then
you put a wig on him.
No. You gotta tear off the end with your teeth. Right?
Okay.
And then you just you're rapidly emptying an entire tube of toothpaste at someone.
So you're thinking that it will be, you got your fingers pinched at the bottom of the tube, and then you extend your fingers up the tube super fast, and it all comes out at once.
Just splorches right up in their face, all over their face.
That is very, very ambitious that you think that would work. No, dude, it doesn't shoot out in a stream like it's from a hose. It oozes. No matter how fast you do it, it is going to ooze straight down to the feet.
Okay, so we need to get the mugger to lie down, and then we can empty, and the gravity assist. It will go.
We are so bad at designing weapons. My God, we are so bad at designing weapons.
It's not a bad design. It just requires you to get the guy to lie down. How hard is that?
If you gave this task to any other podcasting brothers, they would probably be like, okay, so you got a sword.
It's well, there's thousands of years of human history, and they peeked at the sword. I think we're done. Boom.
like I like the
And
idea.
that would be a
of,
very bad podcast. That'd be like 30 seconds. Like, what are you even doing?
okay, sleepy pudding.
Sleepy pudding.
I think it is not going to be
Gonesthesia.
gonesthesia.
Say it. Yes.
Gonesthesia.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it comes in tube form. I think it is going to come in self-contained balls. And those balls have like a thick pudding skin.
Okay. Okay,
And-
that's tasty.
So it's got the outside is not just it went kind of sticky, then it went solid because as you were working with it, it's almost kind
that's
of
the
like
skin that you get on any kind of pudding if you leave it long enough.
it's almost like a water balloon or something.
Okay.
But not that
here's
fragile.
what I'm thinking. Like, you know how you have pudding and you leave it cooking long enough, you get like that skin along the top, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All we need to do is cook pudding in zero gravity, and then you'll get a spherical skin.
You know what? I hate to say it, but I think that this is less practical than just mace. Like, spray pudding, aerosolized pudding, sleepy pudding that you spray in their face, and they try to go, it's like forming a silly string kind of layer on their face.
Okay.
And then that knocks them out. It's kind of chloroform flavored, actually.
So you want like chloroform silly string that you're just gonna shoot up their nose and into their mouth. And
That's almost good. Like chloroform silly string actually makes sense. Almost.
It does if you're like a Party City themed Batman third tier supervillain.
Yep. That is pretty perfect for that. Okay, so what would that be called? That's not gonesthesia. That's like
Sleepy string.
sleepy string.
It's a different adjective. That's all you do. It's like any string product. You just swap out the adjective. So you've already got your silly string. That's silly. You got your sleepy string. That puts you to sleep. If you want like the opposite of that, then you want alert string. And so on.
I don't think we need to like focus on the many branding opportunities for this aerosolized
For
spring.
different strings.
Yeah, no, I think.
Well, I mean,
the-
like, what are some other adjectives that you might want a person to be?
horny.
Oh, there you perfect. Thank you, sir. Horny string.
Instant bondage.
Well, instant like aphrodisiac, which I admit is better than my concept for go aphrodisiac, the grab and go aphrodisiac. But horny string, that's perfect. Like you see, you're at the bar and you're like, "Hey, baby, can I buy you a drink?" I don't think so. You're not my type. Yeah, how about now? Spray it right in their face. Then it's like, wow, you sprayed all that string goop in my mouth and nose.
That is.
And all of a sudden, I need to take you out back and, we're going to do the deed.
Very morally dubious.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and not greenlight that one.
You're not going to... What if I make it nacho flavored?
I think you're missing good. I think good things are missing from you. You are not good.
That's fair.
Okay. Sleepy string I like.
Sleepy string.
How do we
yes.
tie this into I like the idea of more than one string product because the sleepy string knocks them out.
Yeah.
If you want to tie them up or keep them from moving and you can't knock them out if their like head is covered in some way that like you don't get a clear shot at the head.
Like, I cannot administer my anesthesia, sir. Your mouth and nose appear to be covered by a thin layer of fabric, or possibly an entire World War I era gas mask. I'm going to ask you to please remove that. And then he says, I'm sorry, I must respectfully decline your offer. And you're like, oh, darn, however will I incapacitate you? Like, yeah, I don't have an option.
Yes, just like that.
Okay.
Except that
Uh-huh.
I still wanna give a weapon is like the wrong word. It's more to stop people from moving.
Personal self-defense deterrent.
No, that will make it more difficult to defend yourself. That's
Okay.
That's a self-defense deterrent. You don't want that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's I worded.
I would
backwards.
rather have a self-defense detergent.
Yeah, I think most
Stay
people would.
clean while I do my self-defensing.
Okay. Um.
You know when you put up a fence? It's
Well, you put up a fence, and
self-defensing.
then you don't like the fence. You need to get rid of it. That's when you're defencing.
Ah, fair.
And then if you want you change your mind again. You refence.
So I want a bolo ball guy, and then
As do we all.
and I guess the pudding's gone if we're gonna sleepy string. But I want a silly string that is
Okay,
like
here's oh my god. Can we put balls in the string? Can we bolo string? Aerosolized bolo balls. Just like point at ankles, pull trigger, and then a stream of silly string is coming out, but intermittently, like every couple of feet worth of string, there's a ball. And it's just.
it's more like I feel like if we were just able to shoot out a lot of the string at once, like instead of it being this tiny canister that shoots out this like quarter-inch thick string, if it was instead like a backpack tank or something you keep in
Well,
your
I
purse.
mean, like you want it compressed down. Like you need something that's just like a little tiny canister that you can get into like a little wrist-mounted dealie, and
But
then it sprays out enough of this string that you could weave a giant web between the twin towers and capture a helicopter.
But
And then have that scene deleted from the final cut of the movie,
just like
because
this is
the
gonna
twin
be
towers had something happen to them.
just like this part is gonna be edited out of the podcast.
Don't you fucking dare! This is comedy gold.
What I'm saying is that the silly string should come out like, a nozzle that's like, a half a foot around in diameter.
Okay,
And,
so sort of like if an air horn was a physical thing.
right, and it sticks to itself and turns into concrete. You can
Alright.
just point it at their feet, and you are just like weighing them down. It's that might like fracture things pretty quickly. Though.
And then like the mobsters come along and dump them in the river, and
There you
that's
go.
bad.
You're welcome.
Well, no, you're not. You're well. We don't want to facilitate mobsters
That's
rubbing
not
out a
our
guy.
business.
It's everyone's business. And we don't want to pollute our waterways.
With corpses, that's kind of a good point.
It's
Okay.
bad
Well-
for the environment. It comes back to the first thing I said. We got to make it sure it's good for the environment.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do, all right?
Okay.
It is the last few minutes before we are done with this invention. I like Sleepy String, but I want a paired apprehending thing.
Okay, so this is a paired setup like the katana and the wakizashi, or possibly like C-3PO and R2-D2. You have a pair of things that go together.
Right. So I'm going to use this random noun generator, and it is going to be a bolo blank. All right?
Okay, what?
I'm
I'm sorry. Describe this generator you're using. Are you flipping open a physical dictionary and jotting down your?
I just Googled it. So we got one ready to go. It's how I determined oil for the dog killer in the first episode in Cocktail.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you exactly what's coming up. You stop me when you think you can work with it. All right?
Okay.
We got like
So-
2 to 3 minutes to go, and we got to wrap this up.
Bolo blank.
Bolo.
Okay, I'm
Here's-
listening.
Here's number 1. Bolo rate.
Perfect. Got it. Nailed it in one.
You going to do a bolo rate?
Bolo rate. Yeah.
Fast rate of bolos?
Well, I mean, the faster the better. Yeah.
Okay, let's do one more. Here we go.
Alright.
Next, distance. Bolo distance.
Well, I mean, you would want it to be effective across a distance. Yes.
That's more just a specific requirement, not really the thing we want. Okay, let's try again.
Okay.
Bolo porter.
Porter.
That's garbage. One more. Bolo lead? Lead.
We're back to lead. We can't use lead. I said we don't want to use lead.
Ooh, or it could be lead.
Okay.
Lead with bolo.
Here, boy. Come here. No, heel. I have these balls wrapped around your neck for some reason.
All right, that was 4. This is the last chance, I think. We're gonna
Lucky
go for
number 5.
Lucky
Let's
number
do this.
5. Here it is.
Lucky number 5. Yes.
The bolo surprise.
That's exactly what we want it to be. Yes, the Nacho Bolo surprise. Just sleepy string in the face, Nacho Bolo surprise on the ankles. Boom, you're done. Your mugging days are through until you get out of jail for this, and then recidivism rate is actually quite high. But for right now, your mugging days are through, Buster.
All right. I think this is another invention done. The sleepy string and the bolo surprise. It's a 2-parter there.
So good. We're the best at this.
We didn't really fully flesh out that bolo surprise, but you could if you want to tweet at us.
Yes.
Tell us how you think we could do a bolo surprise.
You could absolutely tweet at us. It's HIGAI show on the Twitter website. That's where you go and you find that thing that I just said, and you can use the Twitter algorithms to send messages to either or both of us.
Mm-hmm. Now, one more thing. Just if you felt like being a pal to the show, there's ways you can do that. Feel free to tell a friend, share on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And also you can rate on iTunes if you feel like it. That's also a good thing.
That's the thing.
Now, here's the fun thing coming up next. So, Mason.
Yes.
It is my turn.
It is your turn.
To determine what our next week's invention should be.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I was thinking about something.
Were you?
Yeah. You know how sometimes our lives are we have stories that we tell.
Well, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Yeah, life is also like a box of chocolates. And what else?
Kill a dog.
And you know what else sometimes is inside of Bazooka Joe bubblegum, which is also...
That's not a chocolate thing.
It's also a confectionery.
Sure, okay.
Sometimes there's a little comic in there.
Are we going to invent candy?
Close. Maybe another time. This is actually much more specifically the comic part. But let's not do a comic as much as the printed form. In a like
it's an amazing segue. I love it. Continue.
With pages.
Pages, yeah, good.
I've got it.
Is there? Hang on, don't leave me in suspense. What is it that we're gonna make?
We could make a comic. Wait for it. A book.
That doesn't make any sense. A comic that's also a book?
I know. We'll have to sort out the details in next week's episode. Next week, comic book.
Suck Grimace's dick, everybody.
Yep.
Okay, Bob.
Yep.
Okay, Bob.
Yep.
Okay, Bob.
Yep.
Okay. Like that?
Yep.